Welcome everybody, it's Dan, hope you're well today. So in this session I want to talk about Facebook ads, and in particular I want to talk about, without delving into showing the back end and going into the actual technical detail on Facebook ads, because I don't think that's important if you're a business owner. Like, you shouldn't be running your own Facebook ads. You should not be the person pushing all the buttons, creating your ads, creating the copy, writing the video or creating the images on Canva. You shouldn't be touching any of that. You should be passing all that over to somebody else who can push all the buttons, knows how to create a campaign, who isn't going to mess up your Facebook ads page. Honestly, the number of people that come on board and we go, how is your Facebook ads page? Is it in good standing? And we go, yes. And then, 85% of them are dreadful. They've been banned. And then it takes a whole bunch of work that we have to do just to get them up and running. So you shouldn't be touching it. Okay. So that's one of the reasons why we're not going into the actual technical details of what buttons to push and sharing the back office and all of that kind of thing. But I don't think that's important for you, and you shouldn't be touching it. You should be doing the more top level focused stuff for your business, not the actual hands-on button pushing type stuff. So this is going to be like a top-down view, and also this is going to be dependent on what sort of business you run. So we have clients in all sorts of niches and industries. For example, we have people who sell supplements online. This probably isn't going to work for those people who sell supplements. When you're selling supplements or t-shirts or anything like that, it is a transactional process. So this is not for those sort of businesses where you have a transactional process. For those other type of businesses where it's more of a consultative, coaching, service-led type business, then this is going to be for you. We'll do one of the other ones where it's a transactional type of Facebook ad. We'll do that in a different session. But what we're going to cover off here is two different things. First thing we're going to cover off is a two-step process. We'll talk about that first, of course. And then the second one is about the following up and how we actually follow up, and then how we get our clients to follow up as well. So let's start off with the first bit, which is the simple two-step process. So the simple two-step process that works really well for us and is working really well for our clients in 2025 is: step one is a lead magnet. The lead magnet can be a free PDF, a download, something a little bit shocking. We did one called The Death of HMO Investing, which obviously gets a lot of people downloading that because there's a curiosity angle. What is the death of HMO investing? And it's really to do with Article 4s and how councils are cracking down, and how you can swap a HMO property and just turn it into two flats, for example, or three flats in the same building rather than a HMO. And you actually you get a lot more money out doing it that way. So you could do that. But that PDF got thousands of downloads, which is really, really cool. Okay. The second step of that, however, and let me just cover off, a lead magnet doesn't have to be PDF. It can be a low priced, low ticket offer on a training course. We've got one of our clients doing a £4.99 training course. There's not a huge bunch of content in that training course, but it does solve a particular problem that a lot of business owners run into. And for £5, you're going to be like, yeah, go on, I'll buy that. It's less than the price of the book. I think it's like 10 videos. Each video is 5 minutes long, so 50 minutes of content for just £5. Really great idea. And all we do is we send traffic to that. People buy it. They may consume that content or they may not consume that content. It's irrelevant. Ideally, they do, because if they can consume that content, it gives them a lot of feel-good factor about that particular client. It warms them up to that particular client, who they are, how they conduct themselves in business, and so on. But the second part here, and this is the bit that works really well in my business. So our first part is we have a free lead magnet, which is Facebook Ads Guide. The second part is a discounted offer. And so we have to give something that's going to be so good in terms of an offer that the person seeing it goes, this is a no-brainer. I have to have this offer, right? And if you're not putting offers out like that, you're going to struggle to make business. Now, it might be, well, Dan, I sell houses. I can't give 50% off a house, right? Totally get that. But is there something else that you could give? If it's an investment, can you give a £2,000 furniture package that's actually included in the price? Because then people can mortgage against the whole value of the house rather than having to find a furniture pack. If it's a buy-to-let type investment, for example, there's some things that you can do that's going to give something away that makes it a no-brainer. So this is the process. The first step is a little bit of content, maybe a training course. And what that does is it gets a person to go, yeah, this is me. This is what I need. I'm going to download that. I'm going to have a look. It says that they're interested. Then they get hit with a retargeting advert, which is focused on what they were interested in. So for us, it's Facebook ads guide. Yeah, I need a Facebook ads guide. Brilliant. By the way, now you've downloaded that, here's another advert that says get 50% off your first month, or whatever that particular offer is going to be. We're testing different offers and so on right now, and you should be testing lots of different offers. You think that you've got the best offer, that everybody wants it, and you probably couldn't be more wrong. I've got a really itchy nose today. I don't know why. My daughter gets an itchy nose when she's excited. She gets really itchy noses. I've got a busy week this week, flying into the UK for a CrossFit competition and networking event and so on. It's an exciting week. But you've got to make an offer. You should be having 10, 20, 30, 40 different offers to see which one is going to stick, because the one that you think is going to work is not the one that is actually going to work. It's just the way that it goes. So step one is the free download, the free PDF, a low price ticket training course, could be a networking event, could be a strategy session. And then the second one is a retargeting ad that's going to target them because they've actually downloaded it, and that has to have a special offer of some kind. And then they should be retargeted quite a bit, by the way. Like some people run a retargeting advert once, they just run one type of advert. You should be running, again, multiple adverts, multiple offers, just to see what's going to work. Excuse me. And the second thing that you should be doing across your Facebook ads in order to make this work is that you should be following up. Now, I don't mean a follow-up with emails. That's, for me, we call that a nurture campaign, and the nurture campaign is automatic. You shouldn't be running Facebook ads unless you've got a nurture campaign set up. You don't know how to do that, you haven't got time to do it, can't bother doing it. That's where we come in and we can set all that up for you. So nurture campaign is like, I don't mention it, I don't talk about it because it's just standard, it's what should be included. A Facebook ads retargeting, yeah, that is part of the follow-up, but not what we're talking about here. What we're actually talking about is you pick up your phone and you go, hey, Bob, you downloaded the Facebook ads guide. How's that going? And they're going to say, do you know what? I haven't had time to read it. I'm going to read it this week. I promise. Right? That's what people do. We call it shelf development, not self-development. People download all this stuff with the best of intentions, knowing full well that they're never going to get around to it. Now, think about this for a second. If they're never going to get around to reading our Facebook ads guide, what on earth makes them think that they're actually going to be able to implement Facebook ads and get all of that stuff in place with retargeting and nurture campaign? They're not going to do it, right? I know they're not going to do it. You know they're not going to do it. Even they know they're not going to do it. But getting them to actually understand that can be quite a challenge sometimes. So we will pick up the phone and go, hey, Bob, not a problem. Why are you looking at Facebook ads now? Why is now the time for you to run Facebook ads? And they'll come up with a bunch of different ideas. Well, we're coming up to the end of the year. We want to make 2026 the best. Our leads have dropped off. We want to find something to do with that. Okay, what would happen if you delayed running Facebook ads for the next 3 months? Well, we'd be in this problem. We'd have this bit of trouble. We might not survive. Okay. Instead of you implementing those Facebook ads, Bob, why don't we get you on a call with Dan, and he can run through some of the Facebook ad campaigns he's run for other clients, and you can see what sort of results they're getting. How would that sound? Yeah, let's get him on a call. Brilliant, right? That's why we pick up the phone and we get people to talk about the business, what problems are they having, and can we help with their solvement of that particular problem. So it has to be a second follow-up with a phone. This is one of the reasons why we get the phone number, by the way, and invariably about 50% just put in a false phone number. That's just the way it goes. Can't be helped. Some of them put in a fake email address, which means they never get the guide, of course. It's always very weird. That's what people do. And you're not going to get every single lead. And this is the thing. If you're going to get 10 or 15 leads a week, when that lead comes in, you better see that it comes in and hit the phone and say, Bob, I've noticed you just downloaded our free guide. When are you going to look at that? Are you going to have time today? Brilliant. Should we speak tomorrow? See if you need a hand with that. What's going on in your business? Talk to me, Bob. So this is where you've got to put this in place. And if they do give you a fake phone number, this is why you have nurture campaigns. This is, again, why you have a retargeting advert, because even if they give you a false email address, which is a bit weird because they'd never get the guide, but they give you a false email address and a false phone number, they still get the retargeting advert. That's why these two things, the two-step process, the lead magnet where people sticking their hand up, plus the retargeting advert. Now you're going to get them several times. And then you've got your nurture campaign for the email, if it's correct, or you've got the follow-up phone call for the phone number. But even if that is incorrect with the email address, the retargeting ads can still hit those people who said, this is something that I'm interested in. And then the different types of offers is what you should be running, because one of those offers will appeal to that particular person and their set of circumstances. So I hope you find that useful. This is like a top-down view of how to run your Facebook ads for service type industries. We'll do one for transactional type businesses. It's kind of the same anyway, two-step process. One is to introduce the product, the second is to introduce the sale. But I hope you find that useful, and we'll catch up with you in the next one. My name's Dan Latto. Have a great day.